I was there for a couple of months. I mean, I was put into an induced coma.
Oh, was you adopted by your nan and
Yeah. My nan and granddad adopted me. The
Okay.
area that I'm from has the highest number of travellers in the country, believe it or not, in that area, Ash. But when I was in prison, Houseport 3 Seasborough, High Down, Sutton. Yeah, I got a fight for my family. Right. So I end up...
what happened?
Oh, my dad said to me, go out there and smash him.
You are the British
champion?
champion?
I am the British champion. I am ranked #1. It's going to stay like
And what's going to be coming next?
Strikes in the mix, baby.
Right, welcome back to the Allow It Bruv podcast. Today we've got a very special guest. We'd like you to introduce yourself.
Ellis, also known as Ellis The Grafter Shepherd, as ranked #1 in the UK, bare-knuckle fighter. Yeah,
Bare-knuckle fighter. That's
at 145.
145?
Featherweight, yeah?
Pounds, featherweight, yeah.
Okay, nice.
British champion.
Ellis, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So,
how did you first get into bare-knuckle boxing?
bare-knuckle boxing, well, I'll start with, obviously, like, you know, where I'm from originally. Yeah. I'm from a little place called Ash, which is just off of Guildford.
Ash Vale?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Like, next to Ash Vale.
Okay.
I was, brought up by my, luckily brought up by my nan and granddad,
Nice.
which is, good of them to do that. I had a pretty good life, up until...
Childhood and that was all right?
Yeah. Obviously it's a bit different being brought up by your nan and granddad.
Of course,
but, people do. Do you know what I mean? But,
it's different.
But yeah, my mum and dad are good people, so you know what I mean. So that's all good. But
was you adopted by your nan and
yeah,
granddad?
yeah. My nan and granddad adopted me basically.
No, that's good. I was adopted myself.
Really?
I was adopted when I was 5. I've even got a tattoo of the adoption symbol on my arm.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
amazing,
That's
man.
mad. I didn't even know that.
Do you know what? But so what, from your nan and granddad? Or?
No, so I was put into care as a kid.
Yeah.
Not that's podcast about me, but
No,
I was put into
that's-
care as a kid.
Yeah.
From the age of 1.
Yeah.
Went to different care homes, and then I ended up in one when I was 4. And then
Well,
that
bro,
same
that's-
woman adopted me when I was 5. So,
Oh, that's sound. At least
Yeah,
someone,
yeah.
you know what I mean, stepped up to the plate. This is what I say
Literally.
about my nan and granddad, Like, if it weren't for them, where else would I have ended up? Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah,
But,
no, of course.
you know what I mean? People had that love in their heart just to do something
nice
for someone
thing to
else.
do.
It's a
Yeah,
love,
of course.
lovely thing to do.
Yeah, of
Trust
course.
me, man.
Without a doubt.
But,
So how did you feel when you was growing up? Was you growing up with your nan and granddad?
yeah, so obviously, this is what I mean. Like, being brought up, little me from little Ash, getting brought up by my nan and granddad, then becoming like a champion bare-knuckle fighter. It's a bit of a mad one. Do you know what I mean? But
What was you doing? Punching trees in the garden?
well, this is the thing, because obviously,
Yeah.
I end up, I went to school and I actually end up bloody, believe it or not, getting bullied at school.
Oh,
In
really?
secondary
way.
school, I was bullied, to pretty bad. Do you know what I mean? I used to be one of them kids, like, I used to have like goofy teeth, I used to have braces and all that. And like, you know what I mean? When I was in year 7 and that, people, they just I should be one of them people, you know what I mean? One of them faces where people just wanted to fucking rip the shit out of me,
Yeah.
But
People are horrible.
yeah, but that brought something out of me.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I've had more adversities than just that, but we're going to touch base on this little subject. Obviously, that's what introduced me originally into boxing,
Yeah.
because my dad said to me, get out the boxing club, because, you can protect yourself from being bullied.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
And, I did at the age of like 13, 14. But at that time, I didn't have that fire inside me where I was like I was a vicious boy. Do you know what I mean? I was always a mischievous boy. I was always a mischievous boy.
Yeah.
But I think it took a bit of time for a few adversities in my earlier life to resonate within me.
Yeah.
To then spark something within me to then become that fierce person. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the bullying, equaled into violence, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit of crime as well. Yeah.
So I've seen you when I've seen you in the ring fight. You've got that aggression there.
Oh yeah.
You know, you've got it there and
That's
stuff. And I
just-
see when the opponents, and then you know you're doing
Yeah.
video calls to them, they're just
Yeah.
quiet.
What was
They're
it?
not really knowing what to say.
What was it like in primary school? Did you get bullied in primary school, or no? Was it only secondary school?
Well, it's funny because primary school was actually okay.
Yeah.
I was just a naughty kid. Yeah, I was really naughty. I was
I think
always
we all were though.
I was always in like the naughty class. You know, like they had that. You know, they had the
Yeah,
school, and then they got
segregation,
and then they got the normal good kids.
And then
Yeah,
got the naughty
and then they've got the class where they put all the dancing kids. I was in that fucking dancing class, mate. Do you know what I mean? But look, nothing to be ashamed of at the end of the day, because I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And you as a kid, innit?
Whatever happens in your life makes you who you are.
Of course.
So it's never anything to be ashamed of.
Yeah, no,
you know.
definitely
So every lesson leads to every lesson is a learning curve.
Of course.
All right. So
So when you was younger, in your teenage years,
so when I was actually in junior school, this was okay.
yes.
When I was it's weird because I had a massive pause in my life, yeah, which is very memorable to me. Yeah, which is it probably affects me more, yeah, than I even know at this point in my life. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when things happen to you,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
like you sort of like, you don't know. Some people like you would talk to people and they'd be like, "That's a massive thing," but to me, that's all I know.
Yeah.
So, which is what I'm about to tell you, which is when I was like 9, yeah, I had an operation, which was I had a twisted bowel, which was at the time. I know it don't sound like much, but for about a week, yeah. I was really, really poorly, and my nan just thought it was a stomach bug.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening was they left it. My nan sort of left it, but no one knew. Do you know what I mean? I was just being sick, and then I started hallucinating in my sleep and stuff like that. And then out of nowhere, I went to A&E, and then literally I was only 9, and then like, you know, 4 or 5 nurses come flying in with like aprons on and all this, and then one of them was going, look at me, like that, and then boom, jabbed me straight in the leg with a needle. I woke up in London, St Thomas's intensive care.
No way.
I was in there for like 2 months, bro. Wow. Literally, bro. I'm telling you, I woke up and I had tubes, yeah, like running up down my nose, down into my mouth with like this.
So you've been a fighter since 9.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying, you know, like since birth, really.
Yeah.
Since birth, but you know, at the end of the day, no sob story, because you know I was in intensive care, and you know I look up and I look around, and there's people in worse states than me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, like I look
yeah.
opposite me, and there's a dear boy that was in a long-term coma.
Yeah.
Who actually died while I was there. Yeah. And there was other people in that same ward in St Thomas's, just off the River Thames in London.
Yeah.
A lot of them not being able to make it and stuff.
Some of them, I don't know a lot of their stories, but yeah, definitely the one opposite me didn't. But I was there for a couple of months. I mean, I was put into an induced coma myself.
Oh,
and I ended up having to, I had to, I woke up, obviously, this big massive scar down my stomach. Yeah. You know, I'm 9. I don't know what the hell's that. You know, at that point in life,
that's crazy. At 9 as well.
9,
really,
that would affect you mentally.
So my dear nan, she was like, she sat by me the whole time, like literally slept in the hospital, like, you know, like 9-year-old, all insecure. Like you're a kid. Do you know what I mean? She was there, man. She was there, but you know, I forgot what 2 + 2 was. I remember, you know, like because of the induced coma. Yeah, think about that jogging your memory. Like that does something to you. That does something to you, yeah. So that jogged my memory massively. So I'm getting taken. I was in a wheelchair, believe it or not. Obviously, I couldn't walk because obviously where I was stitched up. Yeah, like I couldn't walk.
Can't stand up.
You can't stand up because because basically what ended up happening was that I had a knot in my bowel. So my bowel had to be cut out. Quarter of my bowel. I've only got 3/4 of my bowel, so a quarter of it got cut out.
No way.
Which is crazy. So I needed a lot of rehabilitation after that shit, but
you managed to get back on track and stuff.
Yeah, like obviously within that hospital, you know, that's a long-term hospital for people. So obviously there's like a school in that hospital. So obviously at that point, obviously they were trying to, you know, the nurses, everything like that was trying to urge me to learn still, because obviously, you know, I'm taking time. You know, this is a pause in my life. Yeah. But realistically, it's a life. It was at that point a life-changing operation. Because
Yeah, of
obviously,
course, yeah.
You know, when you come back around, even after rehabilitation, you got weak
Yeah, of
insides.
course.
That's it.
Yeah. It takes some
Basically,
time.
go back to like being a baby.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that was quite.
But you managed to pull through that.
Oh yeah, massive. Yeah, like.
Do you think
well,
that- do you
look at me
think-
now. You know what I mean? But like, obviously, that's a traumatic time. That would be for anyone. Yeah.
Do you think that still affects you now? As an adult?
This is what I'm saying. So probably more than I know.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like health anxiety,
Of course.
things like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you're very health conscious as well. Because we
yeah.
talk about that a lot as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
you know.
Imagine if you had left that later and thought it was something minor.
This is what I'm saying.
I've been saying that to people about health, man. Like, take it seriously, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Mate,
It's
your
health is wealth, innit?
is your wealth.
It
man.
is
And
true.
let me
People
tell
don't
you
realise
this.
that
telling
though
you,
until something.
Well, this is
Catastrophic happens,
this conversation can explode into so many pockets, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, health is wealth. That is right. So obviously, you know, it was a major operation because the doctor did tell my nan that it could have been hours, if not minutes, because of where basically what happens is when your bowel twists, everything's stuck in your tummy. Yeah. So anything you eat. So what happens is it either comes back up this way, but it don't go back out the other way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously anything I eat was poison in my veins. So it's giving me septicemia.
Oh no.
So when I was looked at my veins, when my veins were black and my tummy was going all blue, so basically it was poisoning me. Yeah, so I was hallucinating because of that. And when you hallucinate, that's when you're near death.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know, I was probably hours, maybe minutes away from dying. It was a major operation, so they got me
that's
straight into
bad,
theater.
yeah.
So
That's crazy.
it's traumatic. Do you know what I mean?
9
But
years old.
sits
that's
with you a little bit
crazy.
as well.
But
Yeah.
how does that happen though? Like, how does it become twisted? It just can just happen.
Well, the thing is, I actually look it up to this day. I'm always on Google, like, how did that happen to me?
Trying to
Because
find
I wanted
out.
to know, because no one really actually truly knows. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? No
just-
one can
So
actually.
you
happen,
conquered
innit?
that now.
I've conquered that.
You conquered that now, and then you went.
There was times after that happened where I was self-conscious about having a scar down my stomach.
Yeah.
But now, well, to be honest, I've got loads of tattoos all over me, so you can't.
Yeah,
see
I was
it.
gonna say.
But now I don't get no one worry in the world
Yeah,
about it,
yeah,
because
yeah,
at the end
that's
of the day, that's what makes you.
Definitely.
And all I can honestly say about that situation is that God pulled me through that.
Of course.
Definitely.
Yeah, God pulled me through that adversity. You know, I could have died. You know what I mean? And you know, God had bigger plans for me, so that's why He pulled me through that.
Yeah.
You know, so really, realistically, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to have
100%.
been pulled through that.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? So,
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, literally.
You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Amen. And also, you know, like I say, them boys and girls down that ward that I was down,
Yeah.
you know, they was in a worse situation than me, some of them. So, yeah.
And some
I'm
of them are
blessed.
they're still in there today. You know, some children in there now and they're fighting. So some of
Yeah,
those are
and
soldiers in
I
there.
pray God for people that are
Definitely.
going through them sort of situations,
100%,
or anyone in
yeah.
need.
I wanted to touch base on when you were in your early teens. Did you get into many street fights?
Yeah.
Is that what is, because you're
So-
really good
so-
with your hands.
So I've always been a natural fighter. I've always had that
But
natural.
when did this start though? When you said
started-
when,
So,
when
like,
you
so
said
like
you
outside of school, so we touched on school, but like outside of school, what was it like? Did you hang around with the wrong crowd?
or
Is that
did
when
you
things started
get
happening?
like a villain arc when you were being bullied, and that's when you was like,
It
let me
brought
go to the
something
back.
out of me, right?
That's what I wanted to
so,
touch
so,
base
so,
on.
so obviously, when I was bullied, it brought something out of me. It sort of, I'll be honest, it sort of made me want to sort of knock about with the naughty boys
Yeah.
instead of.
So what happened?
I never did fit in with the good boys anyway.
No.
Yeah. It made me want to knock about with the naughty boys, and then that obviously led into other things. But yeah, it made me go into draw towards people there was more of a hierarchy, because when obviously you get bullied, people can go one way or the other. They can go
back into a corner.
back into
Yeah,
they can go. Put it this way, they can go a way where they can go suicidal,
Yeah.
or they can choose they want to fight. They want to
Yeah,
they want to fight their corner. They want to prove who they
It's
are.
one or the
that's
other,
what
innit?
happened to you.
I'm not going to sit
Yeah.
and be bullied by no one. Yeah.
No.
So obviously, you know, that's the way I chose. So I chose to prove myself. I was always one of them kids where, like, I was always out there to prove people wrong about myself. You know what I mean? And I think that's why it played a role into I am who I am today. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, being a champion, because I went all the way with it. You know what I mean? I didn't just...
So did you get into like a few fights in school and then led to outside of school?
So like I say, like in secondary school, I was bullied in the first sort of year or two. Yeah. And then obviously as it went on, I actually did get expelled from school when I was in like year 10. So I didn't last all the way to the end of school. But
then you started.
I was more fighting, and dealing with people when I'd left school.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I was like 15, 16, that's when I...
You got a bit of a street rep.
That's when I started gaining my stripes.
Yeah.
So I actually end up... what I ended up doing was hanging about with a lot of travellers.
Okay.
Yeah, where I'm from. I mean, the area that I'm from has the highest number of travellers in the country, believe it or not, in that area, Ash. Yeah. And the school that I went to, and this is a fact, and look this up, had... I think still has the highest number of travellers in the country.
No, I didn't know that.
Where my school is, Ash Manor, where I used to go. And, you know, that's where the hierarchy started, because actually I thank travellers because they brought something out of me as well. Yeah. You know, knocking about with them, you know, because their mentality and their way of living and stuff helped me become who I am. You know,
to have a straightener and dealing with it,
and have fights. You know, I had loads of straighteners when I was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, you know, against travellers, and then beside travellers as well. You know, and like you know, countless. I can't even count them on my hands. That's how many like I used to have where I used to knock about. You know, so yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I can even, you know, recap on the time when I think I was about 19, 18, no, 18 I was. And travellers come to my dad's gaff. And they said to my dad, if your boy don't get out and have a fight, you've got to have a fight. To my dad, bro, yeah? And my dad had just had a stroke, literally. Like literally a week or two prior before this, had a stroke, and they come to the door and said, "Your boy's got to have a fight. If he don't have a fight, you got to have a fight, right?" And then my dad was like, "Look, I've had a stroke. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Could you imagine that?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah, and then you went out there with hands, and then my dad come in and was like." This is the exact words, actually. Your mate's just been here, like Saki. I went, who's that then? Because I was actually cleaning my teeth. The tap was running while he was at the door, funny enough. I didn't even hear what happened. And he said, oh, yeah, one of your pals. I'm not going to mention no names. And he said, if I don't go out and have a fight, he's got to have a fight, meaning my dad.
No, and he was like, fight for my family.
Yeah, I got a fight for my family. Right. So I end up...
what happened?
Oh, my dad said to me, go out there and smash him. Go out there and give it to him. Yeah. Show him. Yeah. And I did. Yeah. I went out there, not outside my dad's gaff, but I went to an arranged area where a fella was waiting with his top off, bouncing up and down when I pulled up. A few naughty boys was there waiting to watch fair play sort of thing. Yeah. Meant to be a fair play fight, and it nearly ended up a dirty fight. Yeah, because I got scrambled up the ground. The geezer was double my weight. Obviously, where I was a natural mover, I obviously pogged him, and I was fitter than him as well.
Yeah.
But the reason this all happened was because the day before, I had another fight with that same guy. Because the guy actually saw me driving and tried to fucking ram me.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like as a joke. Yeah. I know this is a crazy story. And then I end up saying to him, like, I said, if you fucking do that again, I said, I'm going to fucking, I'll jump out and I'll kill you. That's what I said to him, fuming, foaming like that, because I'd just got this new van. Yeah, and you know that switch? Yeah. You know, you got that good, you got the light side and the dark side, everyone's got it.
You got someone trying to ram you.
But when but it's like, the laughing about it.
Yeah,
like,
that's not a bit disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
Yeah. You can't take no money.
You know what I mean? And then obviously I undone the window. I went, if you do anything like that again, I'm going to fucking hurt you. Or I said, I'm going to kill you or something like that. And then he then spun the motor around and followed me and flashing me, trying to get me to pull over.
Yeah.
This is the area I used to knock about. And I pulled over, and anyway, he jumped out and he went, well, you think you can knock me out? Think you can beat me? He went, you think you can beat me? And he went, come on then. Like that. I went, come on then. I put my hands up and I just kept putting him over. Just bop. Kept jabbing him, he kept dropping, this fella. And, but turns out the fella actually was, he was on something. So he might have been pilled up or drunk or whatever. Yeah. So anyway, that's what ignited him to want to fight me sober the next day. Because it was like he saw it as unfair, but actually I was provoked.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
You had a scrap with him
because I was provoked, regardless if you're intoxicated or not, I'm still going to give it to you. I don't give a fuck.
Did you have many other fights after that occurrence there?
Well, that
Just in the street,
that earned me some street value, definitely. But I had another fight with another guy. I'm not going to name his name. In one of my pals' back gardens, arranged. He's turning up at the door, jumping up and down on his toes. Get out here, you got to have a fight. This is all like the hierarchy thing I'm talking about. You know, a lot of jealousy flies about with young boys, and stuff. And sometimes you've got to
show
you got to show them who you are. Of course, you know what I mean.
I don't take
made
no
of,
shit.
Yeah. So he turns up, and then I go out there and I have a fight with him about 15 minutes. And I listen. I don't need to lie, and I had a hand on my heart. All right, I poggered the guy. Absolutely smashed him to bits, like literally. And the guy had so many amateur fights.
You sure you don't want to say his name?
I'm not going to say no names.
I'm kidding. I'm
not going to say no names.
But he's going to watch.
He'll know.
He's going to be like,
people know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
if he's a real man,
people that know me, and know me on a deeper level, know what I'm talking about. You know this story. You know, so and I actually ended up putting the guy in hospital with a broken nose and 2 massive slits on their eyebrows there, just actually absolutely butchering their face. And that's when I started to realise at that point, actually, I had sank.
I can scrap.
I've got sank here.
But see, did you say that you started boxing when you was 13, right?
Boxing when I was 13, yeah.
So who pushed you to get into boxing then?
My dad.
Your dad, right?
My dad took me to the boxing club. I remember the first day, he took me straight in there. I mean, the boxing club that I went to was a really good club back then. You know, these boys were all elite boys. Yeah, so the quality of coaching and the quality of the amateur club was
you haven't gone down the boxing.
I didn't go down the boxing.
See, that's why I wanted to ask.
It's really interesting because I was boxing in the amateur gyms, and I actually ended up getting carded up, ready to fight. Right, I actually ended up getting ready to fight, and I just didn't end up fighting because what happened was at 12, 13 when I started boxing, I boxed for a couple of years in that gym with all these good boys. I mean, these boys have had like 30, 40 amateur fights, every boy in there. I mean, the guy that I used to spar, and I will mention this guy's name, Harry Cracknell. He was number 2 in the UK, or number 1 at the time, and he got me really good because he was like the only guy at my weight and my height that I could spar with. And at first, when I started boxing there with him and sparring that guy, he used to fucking give it to me. Because I obviously...
Shout out Harry Cracknell.
Yeah, man. He used to give it to me, mate. And obviously, you know, after a certain period of time of sparring someone, you start giving it to them as good as they give you. And that's the same.
It's all about learning, isn't it?
Well, you start picking up their ways and you start...
Because you
start being a bit more comfortable in the ring, and
you do that when you watch fighters. You have a little tactic, don't you? Before you're about to go into your next fight, you study the fighter. But you study the fighter detail for detail.
I'll study the fighter, but I will study the fighter. I'll watch a few clips on him and see.
You do your homework on it.
I do my homework, and like you got to really.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, like in the streets, obviously you. That doesn't come to mind at all.
Yeah, of course.
That's like a gamble, isn't it?
But obviously, the differences between the streets and then actually in the ring is the fact that you're on national TV, and it is a game of chess. And on the streets, if you get sparked out, you ain't getting sparked out in front of hundreds of thousands of people on TV.
Yeah.
But if you're on the TV,
a whole different pressure.
It's a whole different type of pressure.
How do you deal with that when you have your fights?
When I have my fights,
how do you go into your fight?
Yeah, see, that's what I always thought. I thought, imagine being in the mind of a fighter when he's walking out towards the ring. Like, what goes through your mind, bro?
You got to be. So this is what I'm saying about.
What do you see in your head?
Like, you think this is mad to say this, but you got to be built different, man. Like, for real.
I can imagine.
like in the sense that, you know, fighting's not for everyone.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and
well, it's the most dangerous sport.
Well,
elaborate what's in your head when you're
fighting's not for everyone, and especially bare knuckle fighting is not for everyone.
Of course.
And obviously, you have got. It's not for snowflakes. It's not for for soft people. It's for bloodthirsty people. People that have got that fire inside them. Yeah. People that have got that hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That you got to be hot wire. You got to be wildfire. You got to have it about you. Yeah, to get in there and have a switch where you can switch on and be ready to hurt someone and be ready to get hurt. Yeah,
I've seen you online. You torment your opponents.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Like, obviously, I want to see the fire from them.
What do you see when you don't get?
I want to bring something out of them.
See the fire from them. Do you just automatically know
that comes from my playing the bad guy, which is not actually what I play. It's just who I am.
Yeah,
but that's literally from all the adversities that I've been through as a youngster.
A lot of people think that you're a bad guy
because that's brought something out of me to be like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And someone has to play that. Yeah, and then funny enough, it's me.
Someone's got to be the villain in the ring, and that's
you. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? You got to own it.
Yeah, of course.
What's the point of not owning it? Doing it,
be confident about it. Definitely.
Be confident. You know what I mean? And you know.
So when did you realise then? At what age that you was like, you know what, I'm gonna go from, like, let's say the boxing training and doing your amateur fights and transition to bare knuckle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At what age do you reckon that was?
Well, basically,
because you went straight.
I was obviously having these street fights, and obviously I realised I had something. Yeah. But obviously, actual bare knuckle fighting in a ring, or in a ring where it's all sanctioned and where it's actually. It's considered okay.
Yeah,
that weren't in my head at this point. But now I realise that was a path that God had put me on.
Yeah.
These adversities, what I'm saying, that built me up to coming to actually fighting into the ring.
Yeah,
and at a professional level. Yeah, because you know, I wouldn't have been mentally ready for that if I didn't go through everything I've been through.
Yeah, of course.
I wouldn't be tough enough in the mind. You know what I mean? You got to be granite to do that.
Yeah.
You really do. Like, obviously.
But you've got that solid mindset now.
Obviously, like, you know, doing that. I'll tell you what made me, the question that you asked. I'll tell you what made me transition from that to that was actually when I went to jail. I went to prison. Housebrook 3
inside. Yeah.
Well, when I was in prison, Housebrook 3 Seaspur, high down. Yeah, in Sutton.
Yeah, I know that.
What did you get a stint inside for?
I was aggravated burglary, allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly, yeah, of course.
Which is a proper punch up the ribs if the alleged thing went through. You know what I mean?
Just convicted.
Well, the judge said to me 10 years. So you know, I was remanded. But thank God, obviously, I was released.
Proven not guilty.
Released.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a massive trauma because I was in there. And,
how old was you then?
20.
20.
20.
How old are you now?
26.
26.
6 years ago.
6 years ago. Yeah, 20 years old. That's
young. 20 years old, fiery inside. Did you get into any scraps on the
Well, I didn't. To be fair,
no,
I gelled well with the boys there. Apart from the guy that I was padded up with was a dinlo mush.
I was gonna say
he was silly.
Did you have to boot him out?
Well, basically, what ended up happening was my only bloody phone, to actually contact my family, my missus. He fucking sold. He sold the phone. Lunatic. I went fucking mental. I had him shaking in a cell like that. I was going Garrity because obviously I was fucking. I was already going through a psychological
change
because I was mentally preparing myself for prison.
Yeah.
And it weren't easy.
So young age.
Yeah, it weren't easy. It weren't easy. I'll be honest. I was bawling my eyes out like a baby. Yeah. You know, and it takes a man to say that.
Yeah.
Real men do cry. But obviously, at that point, that was a. Fuck, like, and then when the judge said that to me, the 10-year, I mean, my heart dropped. Obviously,
sitting in
but obviously, you still got to be strong.
Yeah,
you got to be strong. I mean, that's another adversity that made me strong.
Of course, you know what I mean? Would 100%.
You know, obviously, it weren't the fact that the boys that I was around in there, it was just thinking about my liberties being taken away from me. You know, this is my life for a minute, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's out of your hands now.
Yeah, of course.
But obviously, thank God, again, that
you beat that. You beat
that.
Yeah.
Did you have any other trials and tribulations that you had to overcome?
No, wait, hold on. You were talking about
transition.
The transition. Yeah. He was building up to that. Innit?
Oh, God, build up.
That was interesting because you said about
so the
prison,
transition. I went to prison and I come out, and I was like, "Fuck!" I'm like, I had mad PTSD. After that, I was actually my whole character had been broken.
How long was you remanded for? Sorry. How long was you on remand for?
So it was only literally a couple months.
Oh, it's still long enough, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but no, a week's enough.
Of course, I could imagine.
Yeah. But that's enough to traumatise someone, because when people go in somewhere like that on remand, you don't know what's going on with your case.
Yeah, so many people will say that because you don't know. You're like this, isn't it?
Yeah. So you don't know where it could go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's the nerve-wracking thing about it, isn't it?
That's it. So, but it was gonna be fucking so much longer.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
But obviously the guy dropped the charges. So that's why I was lucky. Okay. So but obviously where was I? I was on a mad one.
No, yeah, transition. Sorry, it's because I was thinking.
No, that was it. So obviously the transition. So obviously at that point that broke all my character down. It broke my personality down. I left there broken, insecure, a wreck really emotionally. I mean, I always was before. Thinking back to it, because obviously I had a point in life where I had an ex-bird that bloody, oh man, she cheated on me, fucked my head up and all this, yeah. She was a toxic bitch. Yeah. She really affected my mental health from some of the stuff that she'd done. And that sent me down a spiraling on drugs. You know, lots of cocaine, every drug under the sun, really.
Yeah.
At that point.
That before you went to jail or after?
That was before.
I
mean, I've been doing drugs since 15, 16.
Allegedly.
So was it because of the girl you were with?
So the girl that I was with, she triggered it to go mad. You know, to get on that like that madly. Yeah, but obviously I was experimenting at a young age anyway. Do you know what I mean?
So how did you manage to overcome the addiction?
Well,
fighting.
I managed to overcome addiction because I actually met Alicia, my missus. Yeah, she helped me out massively. Obviously,
that's when you realised all women ain't the same, isn't it?
Well, you're meeting the right woman.
Exactly.
Yeah. And does something to you. I mean, what really sorted me out was having kids in the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I had, I've had a point in my life where I had a mad diazepam addiction. I was taking like 15 diazepams a day.
Wow.
Yeah, 15, man. I'd started on like 3-4 and then it built up to 15 on a 10-month thing. And I was uneducated about benzodiazepines at the time. I was young, taking these benzos, thinking it's okay. Smoking weed at the same time as well.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, and I didn't realise it's actually one of the most dangerous drugs to be addicted to.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I then realised, fuck, I'm actually hooked onto these things. I've got to stop.
Yeah.
And I actually cold turkeyed it, which was really dangerous. And I didn't realise that it could kill you. I actually nearly died, man.
Yep.
I nearly died, mate. I was again hallucinating, cold sweats. I was shaking, having tremors, having madnesses happen to my body at a young age. I don't know how I even survived, mate, because I was taking like 150 mil a day. That's crazy. For 10 months and then instantly stopping. That's not safe at all. I mean, people die from that, from lesser addiction.
Yeah, from less. Yeah.
But then there's people that do 15 years on it. But that's under the supervision of a doctor. I mean, I was doing it backstreet diazes, didn't know what the fuck was in them. Double strong ones, like 10 mils instead of 5 mils, knocking them back like they're Smarties.
You ever get hospitalised for it?
I fucking literally nearly was. I didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't know that the withdrawal was that crazy. I mean, I was sweating and my bed was puddled out every night for like 3 weeks, mate. I mean, it was crazy. And yeah, that was mad. But anyway, back to this transition. This broke my bloody, broke my personality down. And then I come out and then my missus' dad, Steve Dossett, shout out Steve Dossett.
Shout out Steve.
He's a notorious fighter. Yeah, he's had like 250 professional fights, kickboxing, boxing, K1, world champion K1 fighter.
World champion K1.
Yeah, which is my father-in-law.
No
yeah. So he was running a fight show called Against the Ropes, and at the time it was in Princess Hall in Aldershot, and I come out and yeah, my personality. You know, obviously I was excited to be out on that, and I went to this fight show, and this guy pulled out of a fight, and
what did Steve say? Check the gloves on.
Yeah, no, this was bare-knuckle. This is what I'm saying. The transition. Okay, so obviously he come and was like basically this guy had pulled out of a fight, yeah, against this other guy. This other guy was meant to be this mad cunt from fucking Bracknell. At this point. Yeah, all right, my personality was broken, but I still had a bit of fire inside me. Yeah. Plus, when your father-in-law's putting on your spot. When your father-in-law's putting you on the spot,
you get that fight internally.
Mate, there's no like saying no to that. Do you know what I mean? I've got to bloody step up. Yeah. I've got to show him what sort of man I am at this point. Do you know what I mean?
What did you do?
So I jump up and I says, yeah, no problem. Yeah. I says, yeah, no problem, let's go. And then I didn't have 1 ounce of training. And obviously I'd just come out of jail and I was all paranoid and shit like that. You know, I was that paranoid. I was even like running under fucking bushes when I saw helicopters, man. That's how fucked I was, mate. Seriously, I'm not joking.
Bloody hell.
And
so back to the ring.
So basically what happened was...
Tell us the feeling.
Electric. But, yeah.
Would it give you a buzz? Because you get a buzz out of the fight.
Oh, I love it. I'm like an adrenaline junkie. Like, I'm extremist.
You get like a proper buzz. I can see it in your eyes before you go into
it's the way he's talking about it, isn't it?
You're like this.
So actually at this point I actually had 5 pints. Five or 6 pints of beer as well.
What,
so
before
I was
you had the fight?
Yeah, because I was sat on the table. I was sat on the table.
It's like a call up, come here.
Like drinking now, because I wasn't expecting to fight. Yeah. So obviously I'm drinking. Steve comes over, come on, some fellas, loads of people bought tickets to watch this fight. This fella's been training. Just, you know you can fight. Come on, jump up. You've boxed. You don't really need to train. Yeah. Obviously, whether he was lying or not, like, everyone needs to train for a fight, but obviously clearly not for me in this situation. And then anyway, so what ended up happening was I jump up, I just do a little warm up in the back rooms, and I had no gum shield. I had a pair of Air Maxes on, and I had a pair of trackies on. Adidas trackies. I could send you the video after this, and you could probably add it into this.
Yeah. We want to see that.
And then and the geezer was 2 stone heavier than me, so he was so much heavier than me, and he'd been training for 7-8 weeks, whatever it was, 6 weeks. I jumped in there, and I stopped him in the second round, but I was blowing out my arse. I mean, the first round, cracked him with his shot, right, and I split his face from there to there, right. And he was like fucking pissing out of blood. And I think I made him realise who he was dealing with. You know what I mean? Because he come in guns blazing, guns firing, trying to take me straight out.
You're like Mikey from Snatch.
I can't. Exactly that. It's a good
you
way
jumped in like Mikey from the Snatch. That's what he done in the second round, you know. Yeah, that's a very good one. So you beat him in the second.
Unfortunately, you tick lump.
Literally. So when you beat him in the second,
it was a tick lump as well.
What did you think?
I smashed it. I was so happy, mate. I was fucking.
Was you just like, I
didn't know what I was walking into. Obviously, I didn't know the guy.
How old was you then? Like 21.
21, I was. Yeah,
21.
And then at that point, I had that fight. But you know what? It's funny because I had another bare-knuckle fight in the ring before I went to prison. Now I'm. You're jogging my memory. Because I had another one before I went in. And then it was like literally 2 weeks after that, I got caught a case, and then I got fucking birded a little bit, basically. But yeah, I had a fight with some other guy. I stopped him in the first round. First 20 seconds, I stopped him. That first one.
That's something I wanted to ask you.
No, I got a video of it somewhere. I tried digging this up a couple months ago and I couldn't find it because obviously you get new phones and then you lose a bit of data. But yeah, I had a bare knuckle fight before.
How many knockbacks have you had? Yeah, in the streets. And then
well, it's funny because it's funny because basically knockouts. I mean, I've had stoppages. Yeah, and I've had a lot of knockdowns, but knockouts, they don't come about that easy in my weight division at 145 because we're quite light.
Yeah.
But more or less, for my weight, it's more or less
sort of
slitting people to pieces.
Yeah.
Like these are like daggers, mate.
Yeah.
These are like blades.
I see you training.
You slice people to death with these. Yeah. I mean, you butcher people's faces with these. Yeah.
These are the hands you want.
You know what I mean? And there's a way you punch and you turn your hand like that, yeah? Boom! And you aim with these two knuckles here. And when you turn, it's like taking a chunk out of your face because it's spinning there. Bosh.
You're dropping a bit of free game here.
Boom! Do you know what I mean?
Some of your next
and lift your elbow as well because that's how you generate serious, devastating power. You know? And then that on top of the spin, yeah, that's where... you're taking chunks out of people's heads. And obviously, I had that fight before I went to jail. And then I went to jail and then I come out and had another fight. But that video went viral. Yeah. For me stopping that guy in the second round. Yeah.
So then what happened there? Because you jumped into AFC.
BKB at the time.
BKB. When BKB, is that where they found you?
So,
is that where you got scouted for BKB?
Yeah. So that video actually went viral, and then that's when BKB come to me and said, "Do you want to jump in? Do you fancy fighting?"
And how long did you stay with them for?
I stayed with them for 2 years.
And how many fights did you have with BKB? Because I came to do, I think.
Yeah, do you know what? I only had 2 fights for them, believe it or not, and I ended up
leaving.
Well, I got a better opportunity. Yeah, for BKFC. What I thought was a better opportunity anyway. Yeah, at the time, because the hype of BKFC was like, oh yeah, you know, everyone was going mad for it. You know, it was an American company, so everyone, you know, fighters' dreams was to get out to America.
Because you left there, didn't you?
I left. Yeah.
Can you tell us why you left?
I just you weren't getting the record. It was just a hype. No, it wasn't down to recognition. It really wasn't. It was just the hype of BKFC. I really didn't realise and know what I was really walking into, but I thought I did. Because obviously, but at the end of the day, I can't diss the fact that I've done that because I want to be a British champion.
Yeah, and you are. And tell them who you are.
I am the British champion.
You are the British champion.
Yeah, I am the British champion. I am ranked number 1. It's going to stay like that.
And what's going to be coming next?
Next, I've got a few fights in the pipeline for this year.
Who are you with now?
So I'm with BKB again. So I was BKFC, so I ended up going through a few madnesses with them, which was actually down to recognition on this occasion. You see, sometimes people think the grass is greener on the other side, and it's not. You know, and
I've heard that. Yeah.
You know, you take that leap, you take a gamble, but you need to do that sometimes to realise that, you know, to learn.
But now you're back in the right place.
But I'm glad I did because I won the British title and I got what I wanted and I needed and I took it and I bounced.
Let's say it again,
I fucking bounced to the belt, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I bounced to the belt.
Yeah.
You know, I went there and I beat their best boy and I bounced. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So
I was there. I watched that fight.
There you go. And I only had a 4-week camp for that.
Wow.
A 4-week camp to beat a guy that had 17 professional boxing fights.
Yeah,
that was a Northern area boxing champion.
Yeah.
You know, only lost twice in his career.
They try to say up north, don't they, that there's a lot more fear, but they don't know about Ellis The Grafter.
Listen, I'll say it all the time, and I'll say it again.
Yeah.
It's not about, where you're from. It's not about postcode. It's about spirit within the vessel.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Amen.
I've never heard someone say
spirit within the vessel.
Definitely.
That's
okay.
What else don't they know about?
Forget
that one. Ellis The Grafter.
Was that? See, when you won the title, that was, if I'm correct, that was your 4th professional fight, right?
That was my 4th professional
crazy,
fight.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So what I've achieved in 4 fights is crazy.
Yeah, that's
because the other guy who had
but you know what? Can I just say this one thing as well? the training that it just goes to show the levels, because obviously, you know, the work that I put into this fighting game in the space of like, I mean, obviously I was boxing at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and it fizzled out, and I started knocking about the wrong people, you know, drugs, etc. got involved.
Yeah. But you had a bounce back.
And I bounced back. I found the love, okay, which is thanks to, again, my missus' dad, Steve Dossett. You know, I started training with him. He got me super fit. I mean, before I got training with him, I was on steroids. I started steroids at the age of 17, like an idiot. I wasn't educated about drugs and steroids and stuff. I was just jabbing myself wicked, stupid. I was massive, lunatic. I was on Trenacetate, taking Test 400, Dianables at the same time. Yeah, I was huge, and I had this like personality problem where I had a big, massive ego, and I had a problem with everyone. I fell out with my family and shit like that. Stupid. But,
do you think retracing back? Do you think
what I'm saying is I had maybe down to insecurities. I started that.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe down to demons. I wanted to be someone that I weren't. Yeah. Potentially.
But as a man now,
because when you're young like that, your feelings and stuff, you can't process them how you want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously, but that brought a demon out of me doing all that, man. I mean, I had cystic acne, something called cystic acne on my back, which is sick, the horrible type of acne that you get when you do steroids. I mean, it was all over me, massive boils, man. When I met my Alicia, she fucking pampered me and took care of me and used all these soaps. I mean, we ordered all these soaps, and I started eating healthier. And I got rid of them on the back, but I was well insecure about them. But then also I met her dad. He started training me, and I was pushing all the shit out of my body, and I got back natural. And I got back feeling good naturally, and I got my cortisol levels normal, and my growth hormone levels normal, my test levels normal. Because when you do steroids, your test levels go so high, and then when you come off them, your test levels plummet, and you're not who you truly are. But obviously, I got that back by natural training, natural eating, and then also, obviously, Steve brought that out of me and helped me find the love for fighting again.
And you've got that today now.
I've got that today now.
So tell us what's next.
So what's next is I've got a fight in June.
June, yeah?
Where?
Yeah, is...
Where and when?
So I don't have an exact date. I know it's in June, right? And it is... So I need to confirm with Tony Giles, yeah?
Yeah.
Shout out Tony Giles.
Shout out Tony Giles, who brought me in on this, which is a massive opportunity. Fingers crossed. I don't know. Actually, I don't think I should release this little thing because.
So we're gonna have to keep everybody waiting. But what can we expect?
Yeah. So on a massive card, with some massive names. So someone headlining the card that fought Floyd Mayweather, who's a 7-time world champion, and he's fought the best in the world, and he's coming over from America, to fight on this show. His sister has invested into this thing called Right to Fight.
Right to Fight.
Where what I'm an ambassador for. I'm an ambassador for this, and it's where fighters can get paid for their content, their uncensored content. So you have a link in your bio, people can click the link and subscribe, and then you get paid for what you're doing.
That's good. That's better for fighters.
Well, it's revolutionising the fighting game. Yeah. And thanks to Tony Giles, he's brought me in on that. So thank you.
Shout out Tony Giles.
Yeah, man. And I want to get him on. I want to get that man on this pod because he's a great character.
Yeah,
he's
for sure.
really, really marketable.
He sounds like it.
I've seen it. I like him. He's a good character.
He's sweet, man.
Sure.
He's sweet. So we'll get him on there. And obviously he's brought me in on that. And this is what fighters need. Fighters.
Yeah.
There's so many fighters out there that are trying to make something of their life, and they're so talented and stuff.
And that's what you're trying to do. Where? What can we see from you in the next fight, and what can we expect from you in the future?
In my next fight, you can see fireworks. You'll see fireworks, mate. Because now I'm at 26, I start planting my feet now. So I'm gonna knock someone the fuck out in this next one. Yeah,
for sure. Make sure.
Trust me, mate. I mean that because You know, once
We'd
you,
have to
once you
come
hit
watch,
that,
innit?
what? Absolutely,
100%, man.
for free,
Nah,
mate. For free,
we
tickets are
gotta
for
come
free
watch,
for you
man.
guys, man. I promise you that.
No, I appreciate
So
it.
what is it? Right to
Fight. So that's on the boxing
shout
one.
out Right to Fight.
In July, I'm fighting on BKB again, so I'll be back on bare-knuckle. So Right to Fight is going to be boxing, and then also the BKB, which is also BYB. Sorry, it's BYB as well. Yeah, so that's an American company that's joined up with a UK company, and they got some great names on there. Like
Yeah,
Tyler
I've looked a little bit about that online.
Yeah. See, that's the triangular ring.
Okay.
Yeah, which is exciting, and then also I've got other fights in the pipeline with my coach is going to put me through with. So
what do you want out of this though? This fight again.
Do you know what? It's funny because someone said to me before, once you start, you'll never stop. You know, you always want to go back for more and more and more. You know, because at one point I did, after I won the British title, I thought, I've done what I wanted to do now. You know, I've won a title. That's good enough.
Yeah. But then for you now, that's base one.
But then I realised that at that point, you know, as soon as you take your foot off the gas, you start going unhealthy. You start considering having a drink here and there. You start not considering drugs or anything, but you know what I mean.
Just other things,
other avenues, like getting unhealthy, and then you've got no incentive, and you think, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? So
you need to follow the righteous
path.
I've
noticed every time, that I haven't got a fight or I'm not training, I end up going down this path where I start sort of itching, and I start like
getting agitated.
Focus.
Because where I've done it for so long now. Well, I mean so long. I mean, I've been doing it for like 6 years. Yeah, but that's enough to resonate within someone's DNA. To then, if you stop doing it now, what are you living for, sort of thing?
Yeah. So now you're doing this because it's instilled with you.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed, and you have to be obsessed with it. You have to have an addictive personality.
You have to be obsessed.
And you know, if my personality weren't addicted to this, it could be addicted to the wrong thing.
I've seen it.
And there's worse things to be addicted to. Let me tell you.
I've seen that you're obsessed with improving, and you're obsessed with.
I'm obsessed with manifestation.
Yeah.
Manifestation is what I'm obsessed with.
You know where you're going.
Yeah. Right, I've got 2 questions before we wrap up.
Go for it.
But short answers, yeah. If you could give advice to any aspiring fighter looking to make it in any combat sport, what would it be?
Any fighter that's sort of like trying to make
it so into BKFC, maybe boxing and type of combat sport. What would your advice be?
My advice would be, if it's truly what you want to do, don't stop, because you never know how close you are to a gold mine.
Okay. And
don't stop digging, because you don't know how far away you are from a diamond, man.
When it's all said and done, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind in the sport, or in general?
I just want to be known as a great fighter. I just want to be known as a talented guy that always.
Well, you're definitely a great fighter. That's for sure.
Speaks the truth and stands up to the plate.
Amen.
Banging.
Yeah.
Banging.
All right.
Perfect. So, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And comment.
Watch out for the future champ.
Big things to come.
Big things to come.
Definitely.
God bless.
Take
it easy.
Essentials.
Let's have a look.
#1 soap.
Yeah. And do you know what? It's funny because I actually have used this stuff. Thank you, Jesse. You gave me them. And they really do work. They are amazing. I mean, my skin was just glowing after I used this stuff. So definitely get in touch with Jesse or Allow It, bruv. Or even myself, and I'll put you in with these guys, and they can sort you out, because this is really good stuff.
Now, thanks for coming on, Ellis. Appreciate it, mate. Nice one, thank you.
The champ.
It's been a good pod, man.
#1.
Allow It Run podcast.
God bless.
Thank you for watching.
Peace. Just cause I ain't in the streets don't mean that I can't get straight back to it. Back then I'd spend some racks on trainers, few quids on some kicks, I blew it. My trombone, she blew it. This rhyming thing is fluent. Like Nike, just do it, yo. Like Nike.